Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have the finale for my Panda palette for you. And I'm pretty excited. We didn't finish it all off, but still, I'm pretty excited. Let's start off with the one that I have been working on the longest at this point in time. I started the year off with 3 palettes, as you guys might know. I still have 2 left, kind of, sort of. And one of them I started working on at the start of 2022. One of them I started working on at the start of 2023. And well, sometimes they just kind of stick around for a bit longer than I intend to. But let's start with the one that I have had in here for, well, 2 years now. This is my Amuse palette. Let's take a quick look at what that one looked like last time. And at that point I only had the red shade and the blush left. And my goal was to try and at least finish up what was left of the red shade. Now this is where we are right now. And as you can see, the red shade is gone. So very excited about that. I did manage to finally finish off all the eyeshadows in here. And it took me 115 uses to get all the way through it, which is kind of an average amount of uses, I guess, when I look at the numbers, like how long I've been taking to finish them off. My mind is not really working. Slightly long on the longer side, and I feel like that was because this one for some reason seemed to be a bit more hardly pressed than some of the other shades. But the blush, let's talk about that one. It is a little bit crumbly in here, so you guys will see the close-up. But I have made a lot of progress on that one as well, and that is partly because it's starting to get a bit more crumbly. I was traveling as well. When you take a plane and people throw your suitcases to get them from A to B, that doesn't really help. It did make certain parts crumble a little bit more, but I tried to use as much of it as I still could. I don't know, like, I know I didn't pick up on every single thing, but at least I tried to keep it in here while traveling and not have it spill all throughout my bag, which I did a little bit because this is just not a very sturdy thing anymore. So sometimes it kind of came a little bit through the cracks and was in my makeup bag and it was kind of everywhere. But either way, I have used this one since last time an additional 25 times, the blush. And it is the 7th, right? Yeah, the 7th of January today, so I'm filming a little bit late, but at this point I actually feel like I should be able to finish this off in like 1 or 2 months, probably not the end of January. 2 months. I'm hoping this one will actually be done. I have it on my eyelids today as well because I've got orange here, so I thought let's just add a little bit like more of a warm tone to my lid as well because I feel like it. So yeah, that's what I did. I have been using it as an eyeshadow a little bit more as well. Like in the little top corner there was a little bit left as well that just was easier to get to with the blending brush, so I've been using that with like the darker burgundy eggplant shade in my other palette, which I'll show you guys in a second, and then using that to kind of like feather that out a little bit, make it a bit more warm tone. So yeah, that's what I have been doing with that blush. So it's moving really nicely. Every now and then I'm still using it on my lids, but also of course I started my new Panda palette at the start of this month, so mixing it up a little bit here and there. Anyway, my other palette is my Catrice This Season's Must Have palette. Let's take a quick look at what that one looked like last time. And well, I was just expecting to mainly use the gray shade a bit more. I wanted to expand that. And I wanted to slowly start expanding the other 2 shades in here as well that I still have left. Now, this is where we are right now. And as you can see, we've definitely got a proper corner pan in that gray shade, but let's start talking from left to right. This is the shade that I've definitely been using a whole lot more since I finished off the dark gray in this palette. That has been my only focus really for the last month. Of course, I didn't bring like loads of makeup with me to Chile either, so this palette definitely was one that I have been using a lot. In conjunction with the red shade from my Amuse palette as well. I had the Amuse palette on my lid, my yellow gold pigment from NYX on top of it, and then I used the grey and the reddish shade in my crease with sometimes a little bit of that blush mixed in as well. And that basically was my everyday look there. So this one I have used a fair bit. I used this one, how many times? 25 as well. Which I guess means I've done my makeup 25 times since my last Panda palette update, because I've got the same number for the blush. So I had 73 before, which means I'm at 98 right now. So we're nearing 100 uses. Does not look like it's been used 100 times yet, but I think at the start I used this a little bit more with a pencil brush, so it was a bit more targeted. Right now I'm using it with a blending brush to get a bit more of like a feathered out, all throughout the crease type of situation. So I can definitely see that in the top corner here it's starting to get a little bit lower, so I'm hoping that we can get to pan there within the next couple of months. Not expecting that to happen by the end of January either, but we'll see. Yeah, so then the gray shade I have used an additional 24 times. So there was one time that I did not use this. At the same time, 24, I had used it 115 times before, so that is 139 uses in total at this point. And I'm just slowly expanding this pan, but that one is also, I feel like it's more hardly pressed than I expected it to. Plus these pans are just pretty big because that gray shade is 2.5 grams, which is 0.08 ounces, which is not nothing. So I'm making my way through that slowly but surely. But it is my main like transition shade at this point, really. It's not too dark, so that works out quite okay. It's definitely a whole lot lighter still than this guy, for example. So, and then lastly we have the teal shade left. This one I have now used 7 times, which is almost as much as I used it throughout the whole year before. I had 13 uses on that before, so we're 20 uses for this guy. And also using this mostly with a blending brush to, like, when I'm not going warm in my crease, I put the gray and this one together. This one is a bit lighter still, so I put this one first to just create a base transition, and then I add this one to darken up the transition a little bit, and then this one but more on the outside to darken up the outer V basically. So that's how I have been using it. I've tried to use this I think like 3 times, 2 times on my lids as well, but the pigment just really isn't there anymore to be able to do anything proper with it that way, so I've only haven't been doing that anymore. Now that is really it for this year. I realized I forgot for my blushes to give you the total number. I used it 25 times and I had used it 357 times before. Plus 25 is 382, I think. Yes, 382 uses on the blush. We're not there yet, but I'm hoping we won't be reaching the 450 anymore. The 400 I'm pretty sure we will reach, but hopefully we can finish it off before 450, which is ridiculous. That is more than a year of like everyday use if I would have done my makeup every single day and not be distracted by any other blushes whatsoever. So yeah, that's pretty ridiculous. Now I'm still going to be talking about both of these palettes in my next year's Panda palette because they're both not done yet. The blush, of course, there's only a little bit left. I'm hoping I can remember that once I finish off that blush, I will do a last quick summary of like averages, most used shade, least used shade, to get them all finished off, just to get you an idea of how many uses it actually has taken me to finish off the average eyeshadow in here. I always think those numbers are kind of interesting to see or hear. And that is it for my Panda palette today. So next update will be my first update for my Panda palette of 2024, which will still include these two, but will also have my official 2024 palettes, which will most of the year probably be accompanied by this guy because there still is plenty left. So maybe goals for next time as well. I want to use up as much as I can of this blush. Hopefully only have like a slight bit left on the side. And then for this one, I'll keep expanding both of these pans. I'm not fully expecting to hit any like proper side pan or anything yet, but my feeling is that once I do, I will get like this top corner done pretty quickly. I'm gonna keep working my way down on this gray, and for this one, there might be potential to hit side pan at the top. So we'll see. But either way, expanding the pan on all of them, that's the main goal. And that's it for today. Thank you guys very much for watching, and I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Bye bye!